know you're busy. You get home, you got to get dinner on the table for the family. What do? You call professional home economist Mairlyn Smith, also a cookbook author.
It sounds like I'm a Ghostbuster.
Imagine. She'll come to your house. She won't come to your house, but she will give you a recipe that's going to be so easy, and that's the one we're going to make now, which is...
It's a chicken and chorizo dinner in a pot.
Yes.
Okay, so... Basically, it's going to look like this when it's all done. But there's some rules. You know, I'm a home economist. I'm a professional home economist. You always have to have rules. So the first thing in most dinners that you just want to make, you know, stick it in there and have an easy dinner, is it should have a complex carbohydrate. And I believe in complex carbohydrates. So there's barley, there's brown rice, and this is farro.
Nice.
Farro's kind of an ancient wheat. And then over on the spoon, there's some quinoa, which is not a whole grain. It's a seed.
Right.
But it cooks really, really quickly. Okay. And there's a little bit of protein in it, but it's not as much as people have, you know, given it the big bang for.
Yeah,
so
I know.
whichever
people
one
are
you use.
Crazy for quinoa.
I know, crazy for that would have been a good title.
Crazy for quinoa.
Hello. Yes. Anyway, so whichever one you choose, and I want to use barley, pot barley in this recipe. You measure it out in a dry measuring cup. This is how I keep it in my cupboard, and then make sure you rinse it under cold running water because there's dust on it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the next thing you have to be aware of is the kind of pot that you're going to use. You don't want a great big high one because then the food will steam.
Yeah.
You want it to kind of simmer in there.
Okay.
And so a cast iron frying pan is fantastic, but it has these little divot things here where you would dump stuff out. So when you put the lid on to cook, the steam will come out. And so I have an assistant now who helps me prep when I'm losing my mind, which is pretty much every day.
It's big time.
Anyway, yeah, Ms. Hoity-toity. I have people.
You deserve an assistant.
People. Yeah, right. Anyway, I wish I did. Anyway, she came up with a genius idea. She's a home economist too, to put an onion or a shallot there. Isn't that genius?
So what
That's
are you
smart?
Tell me what's happening with this. What's the onion doing?
It's preventing all the steam from coming off, and then it would all dry out and be crap. So anyway, should I have said that word? Anyway, so yeah, it wouldn't be as good. All right. So you want to have a tight-fitting lid. And if you used a cast iron frying pan, you wouldn't have a tight-fitting lid. And then you have this thing. There you go. Okay, good. Moving on.
Onions are doing the work.
So that's what's going to happen. This is what it's going to look like at the end. All right. So you're going to brown your chicken and your chorizo, and I cut the chorizo up into kind of bite-sized pieces. Yeah. And always use for food safety, always on a separate cutting board. Okay. Don't be cross-contaminating.
I know. I'm listening. She knows I'm a cross-contamination queen. Well, I'm still alive.
You are, and you are unbelievable. I cannot even, like, honestly,
of steel.
Some of the things that you do that if I did, I'd be dead. Anyway, so, or listen, I'm going to get a fast pass at the hospital soon. It's like, oh, she's back. Anyway, okay, so when that's cooked, you take it off, put it on a clean plate, and then you're going to saute your onions. And then a little tip on garlic is that you should always mince it up and then let it sit for about 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah?
So basically anything between 5 and 20.
5 to 20 minutes?
Yeah, really. Because you're going to let it oxidize, and when it oxidizes, all those wonderful antioxidants are going to actually be more bioavailable to your body.
Okay.
So don't be just chopping it up and throwing it in. And you see all these wonderful little burnt bits? That's flavor.
Yes.
Yeah, so you need to take the time to saute this. So then you're going to add to that, you're going to add green pepper, and you're going to add celery. Now, anybody, I shouldn't ask the audience, but does anybody know what this is called? These onions, garlic, celery, and green pepper?
I should know by now. I don't.
It's the holy trilogy of Southern cooking.
What's it called?
That's what it's called.
Mirepoix.
Oh, that's the French one. Oh, I'm very, very impressed. Oh,
right?
Oh, that is fantastic.
JC gave me the answer over there, floor director.
Well, this is...
She's very chefy.
She's very chefy. I know, actually, she's testing recipes for me. Anyway,
that's so smart.
This is
what is that actually called?
The Southern version.
Okay.
So they use onions, garlic, celery, and green pepper because that's what they had available.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
And this is the building block for so many different recipes. It's the flavor profile you need to build something up into something beautiful.
And it does. And the difference between a quick and easy dinner and just throwing things in a pan, you could just throw this all in and cook it.
Yeah.
But if you take the 20 minutes to develop the flavor, and then when it's going to sit and cook for 40 minutes, that's when you go off and do whatever.
Okay.
All right. Now our spices are, we're going to add some thyme leaves, which is very different than ground thyme.
Right.
We're adding table salt or iodized salt,
Yeah.
and some cracked pepper. And we're going to saute that in there as well.
You want me to mix?
You know what? It's a little bit hot, so you can if you want, but hold on.
You're such a mom. It's like, no, honey, I don't.
Don't burn your.
I don't want you to get
I don't want you to get
And
hurt.
also, I'll do it better.
No.
Come on, that's part. Come on. That's part of the mom thing, right? Like, oh, yeah, honey, can you just cut those over there? Like, I've already have them cut up what I need. Listen, I know what it's like.
Just go way over there.
Over there.
When Andrew was helping me when he was little, oh my gosh, the kitchen was like a bomb blew up in it, right?
Right.
But you let it go. And now I'm doing the same thing. Oh my, you know what, I get it. Well, anyway, Scott, my husband.
Yes.
So I'm training him, and oh my gosh,
Crazy.
there's like water everywhere.
Yes.
But you never criticize except on television. And then when he watches this, anyway. Okay, so then we're going to add our barley into that's been drained, okay, and mix that in really well. And then we're going to add a can of tomatoes.
Ooh, nice.
This is twirling. This is kind of fun.
Yeah,
anyway,
it is.
yeah, it's like a lazy Susan.
I could stop it, but I'm not allowed to touch anything.
Is it hot for you? I don't want you to burn yourself. Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you mix in the diced tomatoes, and don't use anything but diced, okay? Because you want them to cook a little bit faster and release some juice. So you'd mix that all in there.
Yeah.
And then we're going to pour in some no salt added chicken broth. Okay.
You're very good about the sodium, like keeping the sodium down.
That's right. And I just used I used table salt because then I'm going to put iodine in it, right?
Yeah.
And you mix this up, but you got to bury it. And then you put that tight-fitting lid on, and 40 minutes later, dinner is ready.
So it's this.
It's this.
Ta-da! Ta-da! You knocked your onions over.
I did.
So you plate it up, and everyone is happy.
And everybody's happy. You got protein, carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, and some vegetables, and yum, yum, yum.
If everybody went back to eating like this, like have a little bit of everything on your plate, that's how I was raised.
Me too.
We would all be good.
We'd be healthier.
We'd be very, very healthy.
And you'd get your fiber, and I'd be as the fiber queen, I'd be very, very happy.
You would be very happy.
I would be very happy.
Yes, you would.